Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about the reproductive system. As the first video in my channel, I wanted to start by reproductive. And let's get into the business. Let's get going. So reproduction, that's a don't get it wrong. That's just a blurred image that I picked up from Google. But now I know that I'm working with the right people. So, let's talk about the essence of life. The essence of life is reproduction. Sorry about that. So reproduction is a beautiful process by which the male and female combine and form a unique another being, another life. So how does reproduction happen? By the union of two lovers, two gametes, the sperm and the oocyte. These gametes have genetical information. These genetic informations are made by meiosis. These are stored in chromosomes, but the gametes have half of the chromosomes. So normal cells have 23 pairs. One pair is 6 chromosomes, and the others are called autosomal chromosomes. So the gametes have half of those, which are due to the process of meiosis, which decreases the number of chromosomes to have. That's because I'm on this first slide. Sorry, but the slides are crappy. So what's the reason of this decreasing chromosome levels? No, I want the full set of chromosomes. First of all, like I said, 23 pairs, so you get half from you have two gametes, you get half from a mother and half from the father. So you're not genetically identical to either of your parents. You're unique. You're just unique being in this life. So don't kill yourself. You're unique. Come on, man. Give yourself a chance, okay? So we decrease the number of the chromosomes before forming the gametes in order for the next generation to have 46 chromosomes. See, 46 or 23 pairs. If that process doesn't happen, so the number of chromosomes gets doubled each generation, and you don't want that. What the hell are you made of? So now let's get back to the sperm and the oocyte. Let's just talk about condition of the condition for fertilization to happen. What are the characteristics? What these gametes need to, be capable of in order for them to unite, to be lovers. So the categories are: they have to be motile and have nutrition for the embryo. But motile and nutrition. Okay, if the cell has nutrition, to provide nutrition for the developing embryo, won't that make it heavy? And won't being heavy is contraindicated for motility? So this shit doesn't work. I don't want shit like this. No, this business is futile. This business doesn't do shit. So we divided these characteristics on our two gametes. We have oocyte and we have sperm. Sperm is small. That's why you can be motile. No, you're small. You be motile. You have DNA and some enzymes on your head, whatever. You're gonna be the motile one, and the one that has the ample nutrients, and the one who's big is the oocyte. Now, okay, we did this good. That's great. Great job, man. Now, who carries which? So, males carry the sperm, form which, and then carry, yes. Males carry, okay. Males form the sperm and females form the oocyte. So the oocyte is quite larger. Let me show you. That's a picture. I should do some stuff like this with my pencil to be more demonstrative, but whatever. Uh, yeah, this is small, this is big, that's great. So you can say, in order for you to not forget, I don't know, why would you even forget this thing? But your mother's belly when she's pregnant is huge, and the oocyte is huge. So she carries the oocyte. Done. Great. Yeah. Let's go for another topic or review on the reproductive system. So, as an overview, So, in order for we said fertilize. Okay, we did some capabilities on the gametes. Now, how? We did talk about the union of these lovebirds, but so now the male has it in his body, and the female has her eggs in her body. So how do these beautiful stuff unite? How do we help them in the process of their union again? I'm gonna try now. So the males have copulatory organs, and the female has a copulatory organ to receive the sperm, and the male has some. Yeah, I know I did say it twice, to produce and ejaculate the sperm inside the female's body, and the female's body has a copulatory organ to receive it, to transport. It doesn't transport; they do transport themselves, but there are specific characteristics in the female body. So to naturally select some specific sperms, not all the sperm reach the oocyte, the egg, to fertilize it. No, there's a process of natural selection, which is kind of complicated. I will not talk about it. So, for the male is from the genitalia, the balls, the epididymis, the let's say the ductal system, and his Mr. Johns, and the female has the Mrs. Johns outside, labia majora, the Mrs. Johns outside, the vagina and stuff. Labia majora and minora are from the external genitalia. But what we want to focus on it is the vagina. I will not show any dirty stuff. No, I'm a good... Do I have dirty stuff here? No, good. No. You got an overview on the whole the slides, and yeah, it's bullshit. So that's why I'm gonna put some transcription in the description below. Yeah, we talked about the copulatory organs. Yeah, you got it. The fallopian tube, uterus, and the cervix and vagina. This guy has the dicks and stuff. Yeah. Let's say the genitalia are divided. And the sex organs are divided, are characterized. So let's talk about the sex organs first. The sex organs are either primary or secondary. What do I mean by primary? What do I mean by secondary? The primary are the gonads, the balls, and the ovaries, which form the gametes. While the secondaries are the other organs that help, that contribute to the process of union of those beautiful lovers. Yeah. So we said the gametes, the other rest are the ductal system and the Mr. Johns, and let's say the corpus cavernosus and the corpus spongiosum, or the dick, and the female is the vagina and uterus and the cervix and the fallopian tubes and stuff. The genitalia, what's the main thing that I hope you don't look at news. So once you look at news, you have a nudie picture. You either do not look at I know you might most of the time you look at the boobs, but go down. What do you see? Labia majora, labia minora, and the vagina. So the genitalia are let's say divided, either external, which are the ones that you look at, and the ones that you cannot see, which are inside the internal genitalia, and male and female. There's some exceptions there. For example, the external genitalia, you cannot see the excisor gland in the female, and in the male, the balls are not in the abdominal pelvic cavity. They're in the scrotum. So let me talk about it in a beautiful way. The external genitalia that you see that are outside, the internal genitalia that you cannot see that are in the abdominal pelvic cavity, which you can say, you cannot say that for the balls, they're in the scrotum. And the external genitalia, you cannot say that for the accessory glands, they're not visible. We talked about it, the scrotum, the balls. Then the external genitalia, they occupy the perineum. The perineum which is a region that has been bordered by the posteriorly by the coccyx, something, I hate that name. Laterally, both lateral side, the ischial tuberosity, and anteriorly by the symphysis pubis. That's for that. Then we have the chromosomal sex differentiation. Yeah, we talked about the sex chromosome. So now the female has 2 X chromosomes and the male has 1 X, 1 Y chromosome. We're gonna come back to this Y beautiful chromosome. Do I have to show any slides? No, not now. Sorry guys, but you have to be patient with this slide. I mean, there's bullshit on it. Yeah, I don't even look at it. I just look at the titles on the book and the picture, so I make it easier on myself to, jump from a topic to another topic. So, yeah, be patient and don't be pretty criticism. This is my first video. So, now let's just consider that both. Do I have to say that, by meiosis, there's 50% chance of having a X chromosome or a Y chromosome in each sperm. So what I'm trying to say that by meiosis 4 gametes are formed, and two of which have X chromosome, 2 of which have Y chromosome. That's in the male. And the female, there is 4 gametes are formed, but 3 of them degenerate. And 1 remains, the one that has most cytoplasm in it. And the ratio of getting the X chromosome or the Y chromosome is the same as well for the female. So males have XY and females have XX chromosome, which we will specify on the Y chromosome in the near future, and the same video. So now let's say that these gametes reunited. The love story came to an end. They came together, and we're gonna live happily ever after. So now X chromosome, Y chromosome. That does this now. They reunited. Is the sex now differentiated? Is this person a male? Is this person? Is this cell a male? Is this cell a female? So phenotypically, yes, but not phenotypically. How do I say it? I messed up between these two. Let's say chromosomally, yes. XX female, XY male, but in an appearance, you cannot say this is a male and female. It's just a fucking cell. It's just a single cell. But this cell will develop later on to a female or a male. It will develop. So there has to be some interaction, some interaction between genetics and hormones that are produced by the mother and the fetus. So genetics, why did I mention genetics? My personal opinion, or my personal thought when I read the book, is that you've already heard of congenital diseases due to genetics and stuff. That's the reason. The genetics are bad. There's genetical impairment that led to not formation of something, something didn't synthesize, some enzyme didn't work, something that of kind. That's why you say genetic and hormonal hormones that produced by the mother or the fetus, interaction between those two. Now, the there's no sexual differentiation. The gonads are gonads till week 6. Some differentiation happens from week 8 to 9, and there's distinctive differentiation between the male and female genitalia in week 12. So how does that happen? Let's come back. So the gonads are located near the kidneys, the primitive kidneys, the mesonephros, because there's mesonephric ducts adjacent to it, and another duct adjacent to the mesonephric duct, which is called the Paramecionephric Duct or the Mullerian duct. So the gonads and two ducts surrounding it, lateral to the gonads. So what's the function of these ducts? The mesonephric duct will form the male's internal genitalia, while the Mullerian duct or paramesonephric duct will form the female internal genitalia. So why? How should these two ducts? What happens to the other? The other one. So let's say this person will develop into a female. The Mullerian duct will develop into internal genitalia. Then the mesonephric duct degenerates, and the opposite is true if the person is a male. So how does this happen? We talked about the Y chromosome. Yeah, the Y chromosome. This Y chromosome has the sex-determining region on Y gene located on it. This gene encodes for a protein which is called testis-determining factor, but me personally, I call it the ball-determining factor. Hell no, it's testes. What the hell? When you hear testes, you feel like it's a wiener. Come on, balls determining factor. Yeah. So this ball determining factor interacts with genes on other chromosomes, genes on the X chromosomes for androgen receptors. So due to this interaction, so now the book just mentioned the male gonads. How do they appear in week 8 and 9? We said some slight differentiation happens in week 8 and 9, which the testes now appear as the gonads appear as rudimentary testes. The gonadal ridges appear as rudimentary testes. Why do we say rudimentary? I will talk about it because it's not producing sperm yet. Rudimentary testes that produce testosterone. Testosterone are produced by the Leydig cells, the interstitial cells, not Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells form the Mullerian factor. I didn't talk about the genes. There is interaction between the testis-determining factor and the genes on the X chromosomes, and on some genes on the X chromosome and genes on other chromosomes for androgen receptors and genes that initiate the development of male anatomy. Sorry, I forgot to talk about that. I should edit it, but I don't have time, so sorry about that. So we said the Leydig cells, or week 8 and 9, the rudimentary testes are producing testosterone. This testosterone stimulates the mesonephric ducts to form the internal genitalia of the male. See, male. Later on, there will be the production of Mullerian inhibiting factor by the Sertoli cells. This Mullerian inhibiting factor leads to the degeneration of the Mullerian duct. So, hell no formation of female genitalia in my body. No, you keep at bay. Hell no. That's that. So, due to this, you might think that the androgens causes the production of the internal genitalia. For example, estrogen will produce the female genitalia, and testosterone forms the male genitalia. But that's not it. That's just not it. if there's XX chromosome, so what I'm trying to say is if the individual is female, we don't have the sex determining region on Y, we don't have the testis determining factor, we don't have we have testosterone, but not that much. We don't have that reaction with the genes and stuff, so no, we don't have Lara inhibiting factor. Instead, there won't be stimulation of the mesonephric duct to male internal genitalia. No, there won't be stimulation of the mesonephric duct. There won't be degeneration of the Mullerian duct. So the mesonephric duct degenerates on its own. I don't know how. The book never mentioned that. So female genitalia formation, which is good. So what I want to conclude is that either the presence of those genes makes the person male or a female. Because if you say the androgenes determines the sex of the person, the individual, that's false, because during pregnancy estrogen levels are high. So due to that, if we conclude that that theory is true, every person will be a female. So once you look at the external genitalia, let's go to another topic because that topic already done. When you look at the external genitalia, they are so different. This just has balls. That's just flat as earth. That has mounds. What I mean by mounds, by the labias. This has long stuff, but essentially they originate from the same stuff. Let me go back. Let me go down. So let me briefly talk about this again. Why didn't I come to this slide when I talked about it? That's the gonadal ridge. Those are the mesonephros. That's the mesonephric duct, as it says here, and this is the paramecionephric duct. See, they degenerate. These guys degenerate, and the paramecionephric duct continues. Now we have testis determining factor. We have some interaction with genes on X chromosome, on other chromosome for androgen receptor, and stimulation of the development of the mesonephric duct into some ductal system of the male. That's it. We just did a quick recap. Now go. So they originate from the same stuff. From these three structures. This is called the genital tubercle. This is called the urogenital fold. This is called the labioscrotal fold. The genital tubercle, in case the person is a male, will form the strawberry or the phallus or the tip of your stuff. The urogenital folds fuse ventrally in the shaft. If you're a male, it will form the labia minora. If you're a female, labioscrotal fold, by its name, it's either labia majora or the scrotum of the male. That's how they do stuff. So the urogenital fold will form a raphe, which encloses fuses in the ventral of the shaft of the dick, extends from the anal sphincter to the phallus. To the phallus. So those structures, those genitalia that originate from the same structures are called homologous. So I can talk about, let's just mention this. Excess androgens, for example, excess testosterone in the female will cause the sclerosis to elongate and enlarge and appear as a dick, as a stuff. Yeah. Let's talk about the descent of the gonads. XXXY, just to know that. The descent of the gonad. The gonads are formed in the posterior abdominal wall. Then they descend after a while due to testosterone. What is the structure that pulls it down, which is a band of connective tissue called the gubernaculum. The gubernaculum extends from the lower part of the gametes to the floor of the abdominal pelvic cavity. Testosterone stimulates the descent. Testosterone. Let me check the book what it said. They showed the book. Descent of the kid. Yeah, testosterone stimulates the descent. I will take a breath and collect my thoughts a little bit. So, independently of the descent of the, let's say, the testes, the tunica vaginalis, not tunica, the processus vaginalis gets separated from the peritoneum of the abdominal pelvic cavity. They both descend. This guy descend independently. The gubernaculum and the processus vaginalis form a low resistance canal for the testes to go through the groin. So one thing I want to add that the gubernaculum passes beyond the floor to the scrotum between the external and internal abdominal oblique muscles. The tunica vaginalis, the processus vaginalis gets separated from the abdominal pelvic peritoneum and forms the tunica vaginalis, which has two layers, visceral and parietal layer, which envelope the testes on the anterior lateral surface. The epididymis is on the posterior lateral. Surface. The testes start to do descent during the 6th week, and during the 7th month, look at this, 6 week, 7 month. The 7th month, the testes rapidly go down the groin or inguinal canal and enter the scrotum. That's that. Let's go to the female. We don't have a picture, sorry. Anterolateral surface, posterolateral surface, 2 layers. There's some fluid to allow some movement. We have, as for the female is the same, but I'll add some stuff. Like, the gubernaculum at the end differentiates to some ligaments, the ovarian ligament and the round ligament. As let's talk about the round ligament a little bit. Extends from the other side of the fallopian tube from the uterus to the labia majora, which there it will blend in with some connective tissue that's related to, let's say, labia majoral connective tissue. It will blend with that, like the assassins and stuff. That's that. But on the other hand, that the ovaries won't descend totally. They will stop. Their descending will stop just inferior to the pelvic brim. That's it. I hope this video was good. I mean, I hope so. I know there's a lot of bloopers, and most likely I will not edit it because there's not too much time. I forced myself to make this because it's beneficial first, and it's useful for me in the future. So thank you guys, and peace.